Good afternoon, and welcome. It is another random live stream here at the Kakash Podcast. We will be going over the Backlash results, obviously, from last night. Not going to be too long of a show. I know I see that sometimes I end up going for like 2 hours. But today it will be a shorter show. Just wanted to go over some thoughts regarding the PLE from last night. But we do have to start off with some sad news. Want to make sure my mic wasn't muted. I should probably just turn this shit around. Sorry about that. But no, do want to start off with some sad, unfortunate news. It has been reported that Sabu, yes, the great Sabu, has passed away today or this weekend at the age of 60. Mike Johnson reported over at pwinsider.com this morning, it looks like. So they have not released the cause of death at this time, but it's sad. Sabu, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know all about Sabu's career or his biggest fan or anything like that, but I thought he was dope, man. My first exposure to him really was, is maybe sacrilegious this may sound to some diehard long-term fans, is, well, long-term, like, prior in like his ECW days, for instance, was his actual appearance at ECW, but WWE's version, One Night Stand, back in 2006, I think that one was him versus Rey Mysterio. Man, I thought that match was incredible. Of course, the spot of the match to me was the ending of it when they had a table set up, excuse me, from it was laying or connected between it was, if you even want to call it a barricade, it was like a steel railing separating the fans, and the other side was set up on the apron of the ring, I'm pretty certain. And Ray was the heavyweight champion at the time. It had to be 2006. It was right after he had won the title, not too long after that, at least maybe a month or two. And it was obviously, like I said, him versus Sabu. I forget the exact nature of how they got to that match. Yeah, I forget how they got there. But anyway, the Ray was standing on the table itself, little Ray, and Sabu comes and does a DDT, like jumps over there. I think he jumps from on a chair and then from the chair to the top rope, and then connects with Ray and does a DDT through the table. And Ray and Sabu actually go through like what they, they call the apron the hardest part of the ring, but the hardest part of the table, that end piece and not the center. And I'm pretty certain they ended the match right after that, which a lot of people were not happy about. But I just remember watching them and being like, what the fuck? Like, this guy is insane. And then I think it was a match on Raw. He did another similar spot where, and he would do this often, right? Nothing new. He would set up the chair in the ring and jump from the chair to the top rope and then whatever he was going to do. And he did that to Big Show. I'm pretty certain it was from the top rope. Almost lost his balance, was kind of like wobbly. Stood there, like regained his balance while standing on the top rope. Obviously not holding on to nothing. Balances himself and then plunged onto. I'm pretty certain it was Big Show when put him through the announce table. It was crazy. But yeah, it was just sad news. Actually, I just saw it as I was sitting down and pulling up everything to get started here. So that sucks, man. So condolences to all of his family members, and close friends. RVD obviously is super close with Sabu. So it'll be interesting to hear his thoughts once he's able to speak on it. Obviously no rush in that regard. But yeah, man, it sucks. Sabu was definitely a pioneer though, and an inspiration to all. So not to all, but to many is what I meant to say there. But yeah, man, it just sucks, And he had just did a show, I have it pulled up here apparently. At No Rope it was a no rope barbed wire match on April 18th at Joey Janela's Spring Break 9 during WrestleMania weekend. So not even a month ago. The match was billed as Sabu's final match. And this is shout out to ProWrestling.net, Jason Powell. Shout out to him. I'll just read his full POV here. He says, Sabu wrestled a no-rope barbed wire match on April 18th at Joey Janela's Spring Break 9 during WrestleMania weekend in Las Vegas. The match was billed as Sabu's final match, although it was widely speculated that Sabu wouldn't actually retire. It sadly did turn out to be his final match. And then Jason mentioned his fondest memories of Sabu are from his peak years in ECW. He was truly innovative and was a big part of the promotion's success. My condolences to Sabu's family, friends, and countless fans. So yeah, again, shout out to Jason Powell at Pro Wrestling Net for that transcription there. But yeah, it sucks. Definitely sucks. So T's and P to everyone in Sabu's immediate circle there. But like I said, the topic of this show is, of course, WWE Backlash. Taking a look at the PLE that happened last night. But I obviously did not want to start and continue without acknowledging that. And let me pull up the chat here. But yeah, so I appreciate you guys for popping in and joining me. What up? What up? And pull up the chat here. But yeah, guys, and let me know your thoughts of the PLE, obviously, of Backlash, what you thought coming out of it, what you expect from Raw, all that good stuff. We have some information for Saturday night's main event, which I am uh selfishly excited about. I'm gonna pull that up as well. But I appreciate you guys for popping in. As I have said, and as you know from me by now, I am random AF. So, and like I said, only had a little bit of time, so I'm going to get right to the point. I'm just pulling up this info on Saturday night's main event because it actually is relevant to the Backlash results. Oh, they have some updated information on the tickets too. My dog is messing with the desk. Stop, Rita. Do y'all? I mean, if you have pets, do your dogs like dig to make their bed? It's cute, but it's the most annoying shit if he does it when I'm trying to work. Stop, bro. Because then she messes with the cord too. Hold on one second. See? She messed with the cord. Hold on one second. Alright, I'm back. Fucking kids, man, right? But yeah. Alright. Here we go. But yeah, so Saturday night's main event. I'm so happy I fucking bought my ticket already now. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like I said, I am sorry guys, I am kind of scatterbrained right now. I'm pulling up the chat here too. Ugh, what a day. The what? Oh my gosh. What up, Fernando? What up, Sean? What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? Rewind. What's up, guys? Uh, what up? What up? Savage Kingdom. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. No idea what you're talking about. But hello, Fernando. You said Backlash was lots of fun. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it ended up being a really good show. A really fucking good show. Oh shit! Wait, what? Fernando, you said Tragic Month, Mongo McMichael, Dean Malenko, and now Sabu. I did not hear about Dean Malenko. Holy shit! Did Dean Malenko pass away as well? I'm trying to look it up here. Did he? What's going on with Dean Malenko, Fernando? Let me know. Let me know. What up, Sean? Can y'all see me and hear me okay? I mean, I'm sure. Especially now, let me know after my dog fucked with my computer and the cords and shit. But yeah, let us know, Fernando, regarding Mr. Malenko. What up to Your name, bro, cracks me up. Your name cracks me up. Over there on Twitch too, and I don't even know if I can say it on Twitter or on YouTube here. They're fucking weird. But he said her bro got to heaven and challenged Jesus to a street fight regarding Sabu. Rest in peace to Sabu for sure, bro. For sure. For sure. Okay, Sean. I appreciate that. Oh man. Um, yeah, guys. All right. So getting into Backlash, what a start. What a start. Yeah, I think overall Backlash was fun. Backlash was fun. And again, I'm going to be still backing off of Jason Powell over at prowrestling.net in regards to some show notes here. So shout out to him. I appreciate him. He does great work. Yeah, in the show itself, I think I mentioned in regards to like the on the prediction show, it was one of those that didn't you kind of felt maybe like the hype was okay going into it, but it was most likely going to deliver, and it did. I think it actually ended up being a really fun show overall, and the crowd made it much better too. I think it was one of those shows where the crowd could have very much in like almost like a make or break type situation, and I think the crowd really added to it, especially for that main event. So we'll get to that. Obviously, I'm gonna just go in chronological order, but the I really liked the shots that they did kind of leading into the beginning of the show. It was a cool, I think, I honestly don't know the time frame difference offhand. But obviously it was earlier in the day. It depending on where you're at. Obviously I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So it started at 7 p.m. Eastern for me. But I love just seeing the aerial shots of the city, and especially when they do it of the arena or the stadium, depending on where they are. But I just love seeing like the outside shots, especially of the city that they do. It's just really cool. It gives you a feel, especially if you've never visited there or if you're not from that area. It's just really cool to take a look at. So I love when they do shit like that. But they had over 16,000 in attendance, which again is a strong show. I don't know. I don't recall if they mentioned it was a sellout. I think I don't recall actually. I feel like they would have like stressed that more, so it would have stood out. But again, I was kind of, especially watching it on delay since I was working. I sometimes have like a show in the background on, or I have like audio that I'm streaming on my phone just because my brain is weird. um, but I may not have missed it. Not important, but just another strong show and another strong attendance. So props to them. I mean, especially with the fucking ticket prices. Like, I looked at what was it for SummerSlam? Ticket prices for SummerSlam. The nosebleed seats are, I think I think the cheapest I saw was 198 without clicking on it for fees, which fees can probably add another 50 or $60. So you're probably just shy of like $300 for nosebleed seats for one night of SummerSlam, which is insane. That was more than WrestleMania, I think. In the for like a similar section. Obviously, I know SummerSlam is going to be at MetLife Stadium. But I'm trying to think because I was like a section below the nosebleed seats for WrestleMania 40. I guess I should have clarified that WrestleMania 40. And mine were 200 ish. So maybe, and I don't know. It's just fucking crazy. It's just fucking crazy. But yeah, and seeing what some people pay for WrestleMania seats this year, like $30,000, $40,000, just unreal. If you got it, flaunt it. Good for you, bro. I ain't got that, and I ain't ashamed to admit that. That's crazy, crazy. Like, but hey, good for you, bro. Like, I'm not knocking nobody. Like I said again, if you can do it, do it. And obviously, people can, and they are doing it. So good for you. I ain't hating on you. I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. But I definitely skipped down some. Yeah. Cole referenced a couple times that he was going to be unbiased when it came to the Gunther and Pat McAfee match, which I just thought was kind of funny because I feel like he's mentioned that or referenced that something similar a couple times now, very recently. So I mean, and I get it though, and it's cool. Like I appreciate him at least like acknowledging it or playing into that. But we'll get to that when we get to that match in particular. But the show itself started with the 4-way, which I thought was an interesting choice to start the match, or the card off with. I think I predicted. God, who did I think? No, I think. Oh, God, was it the IC match? I forget now, but I forget who I thought, but I don't believe it was the 4-way, because I remember when I was watching it back, I was like, this is an interesting choice, but it is a good idea to start with LA Knight, right? Like his music, and he as a character, he gets people pumped, man. Like he gets people going, and even though I don't know. Like, let me know what you guys think. Like, I don't think he's as hot as he once was, but I think it's pretty damn impressive that he still is as popular as he is, with not being heavily pushed. But again, like I think they do deserve credit for not completely like blowing him off either, which I think is one of those that I don't know if like a groundswell would erupt, or like a movement or anything for LA Knight if he like just so happened to like disappear, if they stopped using him. But I think he is prominent enough to keep a spot on the card. So props to him for being able to keep that popularity, because it's got to be hard. But this match ended up being really fucking fun. I think it even exceeded my expectations looking back on it. And Jacob Fatu, man, like he is just fucking like, dude is just unreal. Like seeing the shit that he does, and just the chain of movements and the chain of moves that he does, it's just insane, man. Like he goes from doing like, he'll do like a moonsault, and that moonsault that he does too, just jumping to the top rope like that so effortlessly, like multiple times. It's being the size that he is, like it's insane, dude. And again, like not like he's some crazy like overweight guy or big guy or anything like that, but dude has size to him, obviously, right? So seeing him being able to hit that and then do like a suicide dive to the outside and then just move back in, it's just insane. Like it's just insane. And the way he engages the crowd too, but keeps that going. Like he'll stop to acknowledge and to like kind of like do that movement. I kind of, it reminds me of the Boogeyman. Like I was watching that shit last night or this morning, whatever time it was, and I was like, man, like that little juke that he does. I was like, bro, like he's like a hybrid of like Umaga and the Boogeyman, which is like a crazy like mixture. But like that little juke that he does, I see that and I immediately think of Boogeyman. If you know, right? If you watched back in the day when Boogeyman was in WWE, the Boogeyman eating the worms and shit. Like he is just like, if they had a kid, I feel like it would be Jacob Fatu. I don't mean no disrespect to that, because I fucked with Boogeyman. Like he was solid in the ring too. Like Boogeyman like doesn't get the credit and the love that he deserves. But yeah, it's just funny. But in all seriousness though, like Fatu is just a star waiting to be just pushed, and just waiting to be just like, he's loaded right now and he's just waiting to be unleashed, really, in my opinion. Like it's just a matter of whether they want to pull the trigger on him and really get behind him. And it's not even like they aren't right now, but just it's kind of like a holding pattern. It's just like, yo, like we got him right here on the back burner, he's simmering, just waiting to move him to the front and just really put the focus on him. And I kind of like the pace that they're going with too. I like that we are getting to really see what he's made of and to get a feel for him. And they didn't push him too hard and they didn't undersell him either. I think they have really positioned him well. So props to WWE for that. You know what I mean? And props to Triple H for that. I think I was in the camp of not putting the US championship on him at WrestleMania. And I just thought that they would have gone with the direction of turning solo and like having them feud and kind of going that route. But they aren't, obviously. We saw the inclusion and the debut of Jeff Cobb aligning with Solo and possibly Jacob Fatu. Fatu kind of gave off the vibes and the look that he wasn't expecting Cobb to be there, and especially wasn't expecting Cobb to be aligned with them and to help him, well, not even inadvertently, but to help position Jacob Fatu to be able to retain the championship. And I like that. I like that dynamic. I like that Cobb is coming in as a force, and Cobb is kind of coming in and being the new enforcer for Solo in a role that Fatu was in there for a while. And you still get the vibe though that it's like both guys know that there's some issues between the two of them, right? That there's some, it's like an elephant in the room type shit, and they just don't want to fully address it right now. And for whatever reason, they are just kind of like toying with each other to see who's gonna strike first. But I feel like Jacob is kind of in the mindset right now where it's like, just because the only reason he's not striking right now solo is because it's family type shit, but he's the type where like with family, like he ain't gonna start shit, but he'll finish it. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that's the approach he's taking with solo right now. Like he's trying to be subtle about it, but not really at the same time too. And especially with Cobb, and I love the look that Fight 2 gave Cobb, obviously at ringside, but then when Fatu was walking to the back with the championship, and he left Solo and Cobb kind of in the walkway right there, and went off and did his, went to the back, and he left as his own man, like he left and did his own thing. It just the looks, man, the facials, and just the visual cues from in between each other. I just think that it was a really good debut, and I like that they didn't oversell Cobb either. You know what I mean? Like they didn't make it like, oh my god, like like the next big thing, or like like this destructive force. Like it was the perfect tone too. Like I think they called him like the hottest free agent or something like that, which isn't overselling him either. It is an accurate statement. It is a fair statement. So yeah, and I think there was reports that Jeff Cobb had to take like 4 or 5 different flights to get there in time, or to make sure he was there in time for the event. And if that's the case, like props to him too. Like I, respect the hustle and shit. It's the things like that. It's for me my full time like the main, without like, because I don't really say where because like it's just one of those things, but like say like the main aspect of what we do is now kind of like the easiest thing, but it's like all the side shit that goes into it, the paperwork, the follow-up, and all that shit. That's like the most tedious part. And I kind of feel like that's probably what wrestlers view wrestling as. Like the wrestling, like the match itself is sometimes almost the easiest part, and like the most like relieving part, but it's like the travel, the preparation, and the input. Building the match itself and getting to the match itself is almost the most difficult part. So props to them or in all of them, but especially Jeff Cobb, if he did have to go through that. And obviously he had been based in Japan for years. So the transition and the preparation that it took to get over and to acclimate to the WWE lifestyle is never easy. So props to him. But yeah, the 4-way, and obviously fucking Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I love the storytelling there. And that's why, yes. And I think, who was it? McIntyre or Priest even referenced that this should have been a one-on-one match between him and Priest. And it should have been. And I liked that. But I liked that they made sense with it being a 4-way. Because, like fucking WWE in their multi-person match, right? But I like that it ended up kind of making sense a little bit, and it didn't take away from the match, and it was almost like 2 stories in one. So I thought that was pretty cool. And fucking Priest and Damian Priest and McIntyre, man, those guys, they have this surprising chemistry. Like if you're looking at like the roster, right? Like you necessarily wouldn't imagine them two having the chemistry between each other that they do. And I think that's a really just a fun dynamic. And I think that's telling to their strengths as wrestlers as well, in who they are and what they've put in the preparation too. Like we're talking about, like behind the scenes too. Like it really, like sometimes you can see where something is kind of a little bit more effortless between a couple wrestlers or teams or whatever it is, depending on the situation. Whereas other people, they're really like Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte, where, they're really trying and shit is just awkward and it just goes off the rails and, it ends up not being what you thought it was going to be. And that's okay too. But this one ended up just really clicking, in my opinion. They've made something out of something big out of something that they could have easily, like the catch in, they just easily could have had it, just being something that happens and then moved on from it and not really addressed it. And they've really been able to spin it off into this long story. And I think it's really cool. And I'm really here for it because I think even though I think McIntyre is going to be the one to be the victor overall in the feud, I think Priest is still going to gain a lot out of it too. So props to both of them. But I'm going to pull up the chat. What up, Sean? I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. You said, do we need to see more Drew and Priest? Hope Drew's okay. Yeah, I hope he is too. Ironic there, timing there. But I think so, man. Like, I don't think it needs to go on for like months, but I think we need to have like a blow off match for sure. For sure. So, especially with what they did, that South Heaven, I think that we need to have a blow off match, like a proper blow off match between the two of them and no one else involved, just I don't know if you want to call it like a street fight, a Falls Count Anywhere type shit. Probably a Falls Count Anywhere at this point. But I know, like the Hell in a Cell is probably like a easy go to, but I think we just saw something too similar to that with Drew recently. So I feel like a Falls Count Anywhere, maybe. Maybe what's the next, or maybe at Saturday night's main event. You could do it there. But thanks, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And you said the boogeyman was awful. I mean, yeah, he was awful, but he was awful. He was fun. I'll never forget that nasty shit though. Fucking Jillian, what was her name? Jillian Hall? Am I conflating? But Jillian, that fucking growth on her face and he bit that shit off. Fucking disgusting. Sean, you said I like that Jeff Cobb is here, but man, he is short. He is, but he reminds me of Rhino. He fucking reminds me of Rhino, bro. Short but powerful. Short but mighty. What up, E? What up? What up? Fernando, you said the boogeyman was trash. Hey, man. Boogeyman was the boogeyman. He made the most out of what he was dealt with, though. But yeah, officially, so no surprise, Fatu retained the championship there. But moving on, we had the match that was highly talked about yesterday, highly debated in the prediction show: Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. First of all, I will say, I can't with the wings, man. Like, it kind of distracts me. Like, I don't know. Me, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just not for me. Like, I think it's a cool visual, but like she should come out with it and then drop it at the stage and then walk down the aisle, like interacting with the fans. I feel like, especially as a babyface, it really takes away from the interaction that she can have with the kids that are right there too. Like, I think little things like that really build a relationship and for small kids, like, especially, not to be cliche or anything, but especially like little girls, man. Like, they want someone that they can, and especially with her being a character, what I mean? Like, I feel like even if that's going to be like her shtick, okay, cool. But like, do 50-50 with it, like have the cool setup with the wings, like, fine. And even walk like, like if you want to walk with it, like come onto the stage with it, flare them up or whatever, so you can see the feathers, and then walk like right in the beginning of the aisle where the fans, like the barricade is for the fans, and then take them off there and then go down there and like interact with the fans there, because it just really stood out to me for whatever reason watching her entrance last night. It's like she doesn't even look at the fans. Like, she's just very stoic and just very like focused, and maybe that was the point, because this is personal for her because of the relationship that she thought she had with Becky and the idol and idolization and all that shit. Like, maybe I'm being too hard on it in this situation, but it just really took away from me there in the lead up to the championship match. Like, this is probably like one of the biggest matches for her, especially, obviously it's the biggest title defense in this regard, but I don't know, it just really stood out to me. Like, she just wasn't able to interact with the fans at all. So I don't know, man. And again, I'm not even like completely knocking it, but again, like, just I compromise, right? And again, it's just my feelings on it. But if you gotta have the wings, if you want to do it, cool. Just do it halfway. Bring it to right at the beginning where the barricade begins with people who bought the aisle seats. Take it off there and then interact with the fans. So I don't know. I don't know. Like, and I get it's just the pageantry for the big time match, type of feel, being at a PLE. I get that. But I don't know. Maybe it didn't even like bother anyone else, but to me it was just kind of noticeable. But yeah, the match itself I thought was really fucking good, and I think she broke her nose. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't watch the press conference afterwards. I did see that John Cena put R-Truth through a table, so we'll get to that obviously. But I don't. Sorry, I read my phone there for a second because I had a notification. But yeah, I don't I don't know for certain. Maybe let me pull up the chat here. Maybe you guys know for certain if she broke her nose, but at the end you could really tell it was bothering her too. I didn't even think the pin where when she was getting like the pinfall, I didn't even think it was gonna end there because she was just really, like, you could tell it was really fucking with her, really bothering her. So hope she's okay. But if not, honestly, fucking use that shit, girl. Like, as long as it's nothing too crazy, like, like no concussion or anything like that. If it's something that she can heal up within a couple weeks, not a couple weeks, but like 6 weeks ish, she could fucking use this to a T, man. Get one of those masks. You remember, I mean, obviously the blood isn't there, but like, just really fucking own up to that shit and just really take advantage of it, and be able to have a couple matches. Obviously not on Monday, but may wait a couple weeks. But really like show your toughness and be like, yeah, bitch, like, you got me, but like, no, I'm still here. Like, I'll fight. Like, I'm a defending champion. Like, have her come out there on Raw and come out in the face mask. If, and this is if her nose is broken, come out in the face mask and be like, look, Becky, like, I got, like, don't be bitter. Don't be bitter, Becky. I beat you 1, 2, 3. If you still got beef, like, we can go. Like, yeah, you broke my nose. Like, but I, like, I'm not in the best shape, but let's go. Like, round 2. Like, let's do this, and have let Adam Pierce come out there, put a stop to it, health wise, she's not clear, blah, blah, blah. But you want to really take advantage of that and hype her up as this badass, like, not just this, she's not even presented as like, I don't know, like, she's a really intriguing character in the sense that she's not like a Barbie type, like a Tiffany Stratton, for instance, where like you could look at it and be like, is she really tough? And like you see the match and like, yeah, oh no, this girl can fucking go, like, whereas Lyra, she's not really presented that way, but I don't know, it's just like, oh, it's kind of like a neutral, I don't know, type thing. Like, you gotta kind of see like what she's made of. And I think that was why I had advocated for her to lose the title to Becky, and then have something similar to where like Becky really tries to like beat the shit out of her and tries to like rip her arm off and all this shit, and then Lyra's out for a few weeks or maybe a month or two. In the meantime, Bailey is trying to like fight for Lyra's honor, all that stuff. Like, if you watched the prediction show, you heard me yesterday, so I won't go through it all again. But it was the same thought process behind it, to really establish Lyra as this tough chick, as this tough badass, woman who wants to defend the championship, who wants to really go out there and just be a fighting champion or a fighting contender, period. Like, it's going to take a lot to keep her down. So I think they're on a good track with that. I think the match was really good. And I think, even though I still think, in my opinion, it would have potentially been a good thing that, she lost the championship and went that route, but that's just, my bias there. I'm and I am surprised, other people probably aren't, but I am surprised that she did retain the championship. And, I liked the ending with it. And again, if she does end up having a broken nose, I think it's only going to be a positive. It sucks for her, and I hope she's, she's probably really sore today. But I hope she's okay. But I think she could really fucking use this, man. If I was her and my nose was broken and they're not gonna make me stay home, I'd be fucking ecstatic. You know what I mean? I would be like, let's go. Like, what can we do to exploit this? Maybe that's sick. But yeah, I would take advantage of it. So again, officially, Lyra retained her championship. They went just shy of 20 minutes there. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. Really cool. They had, of course, Becky address Lyra's, I think, boyfriend or fiance, who was in the crowd there. Some people were giving him shit on Twitter, apparently, but she apparently he's a wrestler. I didn't look too much into it, but people is again, guys. That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. But what up, chat? What up? What up? What up, Rafi? What up, man? You said, hi, Ashley. Do you know Jeff Cobb was the flag bearer of Guam in the 2004 Athens Olympics? Hoping to see him having a decent run with the bloodline. I saw a clip of it this morning. I had no idea prior. So yeah. Let's see here. Fernando, you said very proud of Lyra. Lyra was the right decision. Becky doesn't need the IC championship. Yeah, man, I know that was your thoughts going into it. So yeah, you were right with your pick there for sure. For sure. And you said her run was rejuvenated last night. Yeah, and again, like I'm hoping whatever if she did sustain an injury, I hope it's nothing serious where she has to like relinquish it or anything like that. But yeah, I was really impressed. Really not impressed, but I was really happy with the match. So props to her. Next up, we had Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. And my fucking goodness, man. And this was for the men's IC championship. Fucking Dominic Mysterio, bro. WWE is gonna have a problem on their hands in the short term if they are going to try to keep this dude a bad guy unless they really like have him go out there and try to do some slimy shit and try to get the fans to boo him again, because I think that the more he goes out there and has dope matches and does moves like he did with the suicide dive, turning that into a DDT, oh my gosh, just fucking amazing, man. Like, if he pulls out little moves like that, not that that was a fucking little move, but little surprises like that is a better phrase, and better classification of it, he's going to win everyone over. And I don't know what they are really leaning towards, if they're just like, go out there and just continue to do what you're doing and we'll just like organically react to it. But man, like, dude is gonna be a star, man. I think at one point I couldn't quite make it out, but I think at one point the fans were even like singing the dirty, dirty Dom, like, how they do in like the UK fans. But man, like that dude, man, he is something else, and he is going to be a star for sure. It's just a matter of time, and I think it's like, I'll remember, like, when I was watching the match, like, I remember one thought being like, it's for me, like, it's so fun being able to watch his entire journey from the start to where he is right now, in the sense that, like, I literally remember this dude being a small child and Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero fighting for the custody in that ladder match at SummerSlam. And to see that and to remember just being a young Ashley and be like it was such a good ladder match too. Oh, so well done. But the graphic of just little Dominic and just his little face, and seeing Eddie Guerrero with his little bit longer hair, and he had like some blonde highlights in it, and just being the despicable Eddie Guerrero, and Vicky Guerrero got involved in it. Oh, it was just so good. So just seeing that, and then couple of years later, him being involved with the CM Punk Straight Edge Society, I think it was, with CM Punk, just tremendous. And then obviously seeing him start very early on in WWE when he had like the buzz cut and he was just, still kind of like, I don't want to say chubby, but like his face still had like a little bit of like fullness in it, and now he's just going up a little bit more, and he's leaned out, and it's so dope, man. It's so fun to see the transformation, and I don't know, like it's really cool. You don't get to witness that with a lot of wrestlers, especially, or just a lot of talent in general, whether it's like a sports star or anything like that. Like for instance, like basketball players, like you see like LeBron's kids, Bronny, like you remember seeing like little pictures of LeBron holding Bronny as a kid, after he won like a championship or whatever, and now you get to see Bronny playing in the league. So shit like that is cool, man. And seeing it come full circle is really dope. And you don't get to see that too often. So I feel like when it is there, it's just you connect different, you know what I mean? And I think that's honestly probably why a lot of people are going to start cheering him very soon, and why they are starting to branch onto him, because he just has a natural connection with the fans, and he wrestling comes so naturally to him, and it's just so easy. So props to him, dude. And fucking Penta, man, like Penta was the perfect foil. And I like wrestling is one of those sports, one of those things where it takes two to tango, right? And you really need a good partner to really amplify what you can do. It's one of those things where, like, for instance, like basketball, right? If you're a good shooter, like, you're gonna stand out. But like if you're not a good wrestler, like, or if you're a good wrestler, like, yeah, you could be a good wrestler, but like you can only do so much without a good partner. So I think Penta was just fucking fantastic. I'm very happy with the presentation of Penta, like like some people I saw a little bit on Twitter that they were just like, oh, he's coming in and losing to Dominic. But like, did you watch the match? Like, the whole story was of Judgment Day, right? And of Finn Balor and Finn Balor taking forever to just fucking like beat Penta, like all he had to do was take a couple of quick shots and be done with it. But no, he had to go get the chair and do all this setup. By the time he did that, the referee turned around. So that's the story, man. Like that was the whole story with it. So I'm not concerned about Penta at all. I mean, I and the thing with WWE right now too, it's like it's so crowded in the upper card, man. Like even in the upper mid card, which is a great problem to have, but it's like you have all these people, like you have Miro coming in, Aleister Black, you have Penta, you have Rey Fenix. Like, so who we're supposed to push all these people at once? You can't, so you have to slot them in and really have an idea for them. So, and it's not going to be right to the top. Like, and it's different if you have like a Cody Rhodes coming in, right? Like, you have to really assess where they are currently and where you want to position them. So I think it's fine. Like, I'm not concerned at all. I think this match was just fucking fantastic. I loved it. And again, shout out to Dominic. I was surprised it was as short it was, but again, I'm not complaining at all because I love the length of the show. So props to both of them. There were a lot of advertisements in this match, though. That fucking Morgan and Morgan shit in the center of the ring, and the yellow logo, or the yellowness of the logo was just really kind of annoying. But next up we had Gunther and Pat McAfee. I'm not gonna spend too long on this match. Honestly, the commentary really got to me on this match. Again, I referenced earlier that Cole had said that he apologized, but he was going to be biased in this match, and he was going to be pulling for Pat McAfee, which, duh. Like, again, like, I can appreciate him at least addressing it, right? But, like, it was kind of stating the obvious. It's like this court trial I watched, right? I can't read. If you have listened to me before, but the judge, I'm not going to get into it, but there's this one defense attorney. His name is Robert Alessi. And at first he was like, he would go out there and explain what he was about to do. He was like if he's going to tell you to turn to page 5, he was like, okay, Your Honor, I'm going to instruct the witness to turn to page 5, or okay, sir, I'm going to instruct you to turn to page 5. And the judge is like, sir, just tell him to turn to page 5. So it's just, and it was just funny. But Cole, man, it was just too much, man. Like, I literally turned the volume down, and I at one point I was like, yo, is there a way that it's 2025. Like, we have got to have an option while watching sports where we can turn the commentary off and just listen to everything but the commentary, because it was just too much. And I did Cole, man. Like, I generally do not have an issue with him, and I get it was just the circumstances of the match, but bro, like, it got to me. It got to me. I almost wish that Cole would have just taken his headset off. Like, he would have said, like, I'm sorry guys, like, I'm gonna be biased, and be like, you know what, I can't even do this, and like taking the headset off and just been ringside, because he fucking interfered in the match anyway by holding Gunther's foot down towards the end, trying to help Pat get the pinfall. But I almost wish he would have just done that, and just had Wade Barrett commentate by himself, because it didn't end up going that long anyway, which I think it was proper, right? Like, it didn't need to be a 20-minute match. But again, props to Pat McAfee. Dude took a beating, and his fucking chest has got to be brutal. I haven't seen any pictures or anything of it, but it's got to be fucking just dreadful today, being Pat McAfee. But again, like, if you listen to the prediction show, I respect Pat McAfee for going in there and God and taking that beating. And I think they told it very well. I think the whole idea was to go out there and really have Gunther just show who he is, and just show him being the badass that he is, and just beat the fuck out of Pat. And that's what he did. Pat had a moment where he slipped, but I think that really played into the match too. Pat was just going out there and doing everything that he could to try to like take out Gunther. And he couldn't, and I liked that there was a couple of like, I guess like hope spots or whatever for McAfee, but it was nothing too strenuous where it's like, oh my god, like, really, like, are they really gonna have Gunther lose to McAfee? Like, no, like, it made sense. I will say I was kind of surprised though with Gunther kind of giving the nod. I think he went like that or something like that to Pat McAfee towards the end, kind of like a little nod of respect type shit. And to me, like, I when I saw that, I was like, huh, that's interesting, and I wonder if they're going to start planting more seeds for like a Gunther face turn quicker than maybe anticipated. And I don't know, man. Like, I think Gunther is such a good bad guy that you almost take away a good like heel, but you also, if you feel like you can get a good like face run out of Gunther and you need someone with his caliber on the good guy side, then I get that too. But I don't know, man. I hope it was just a matter of like, that's just Gunther, like, if he takes you to task and he beats the fuck out of you and you're still standing afterwards, then he, a nod of respect, but he's on to the next one, and just, going to be the same piece of shit to someone else. So could be a matter of both. But thank you, Sean. I appreciate you for your super chat, man. I appreciate you, bro. You said Cole was unlistenable and awful in that. So I'm very happy you said that, and it wasn't just me. Just fucking unlistenable, man. No doubt, man. It was just, I get it, but bro, like, we get it, like, less is more sometimes. Like, I really turned the volume down, like kind of maybe like 5-6 minutes into it. I was like, I just can't anymore. But yeah, taking us to the main event, we of course had John Cena, our undisputed, which it really is disputed, our undisputed WWE champion, defending against the hometown hero and Randy Orton. The fans, man, like I referenced earlier, the fans are what really made the atmosphere what it was for this match. And I think that if this was anywhere else, it may not have been as hot as it was, but it kind of ended up being what you expected. It was kind of like that Roman Reigns heavyweight match, and just like that template placed onto the Cena match. But yeah, they had a really interesting stat though. I think Cole had mentioned the first singles match they had between the two of them was August 9th in 2001 at a Brian Pillman memorial show, which is just crazy. It's crazy to think about that. Needed some water really quick, but it's okay. It's just really crazy to think that, like, damn, 24 years, almost 24 years, full, they are having what could be their potentially last match against each other. And I think it's interesting that they didn't bill it that way, because if WWE can bill something as like the best, the greatest, the final, the first, they will. So I think it's really interesting that they didn't bill it that way. But of course, it was kind of what you expected. We ended up getting the obligatory referee bump, but not only did we get one ref bump, but I think we ended up getting three total. Let's see if it's referenced here. Yeah, it was three total. Just fucking insane. And Chad Patton, I think it was. Let's see if yeah, it was Chad Patton. He ended up getting, at one point, they were all outside ringside near the commentator's table. And Chad Patton ended up getting pushed into the steel steps nearby. It hit his head. So I'm like, oh, this dude's got to be out permanently. Like, there's no way he's going to be able to get up. Like, these fucking refs, man, if you breathe too hard in their direction, they're down for 5 minutes. So I'm thinking, like, oh my God, like, he hit his head on the steel steps. Like, he's going to be out for a month. There's no way. But he ended up recovering just in time at the end of the match to get the pinfall for Cena. And no shocker, guys, John Cena to not bury the lead, but he did end up retaining the championship. Obviously, if you're watching this, it's no spoiler at this point. Cena is still our WWE Undisputed Champion going forward. But the end of the match, though, is all of the inclusions of like the agents, the producers. Randy Orton, I think, hit like a new record of RKOs in one outing this night here. I wonder, did we have a final tally of how many RKOs he hit? I don't think it's referenced here, but probably like around 30 total. Every agent, every producer that came out fucking got the RKO, which was just insane. And it was crazy because all it took, and I'm sorry to all you guys out there because it's sad to see, and it's sad to think that you could go through a brutal match, you can go through hell, go through announce tables, the ringer, man, go for almost 30 minutes. And the thing that's going to take you out is a kick to the nuts, man. It's really sad. Like, I really feel for you guys because y'all can withhold and withstand so much abuse and so much punishment to everywhere else in your body, but you get kicked in the nuts, man, y'all are done. The match is over. Like, that's it. And I really feel for you guys. Like, it must suck. Us females, we go through certain things, but man, at least that's not like a 3-second count for us, so maybe you guys do have it rough out there. Kind of joking there, but being serious too, because it's like I'm so over the low blow for every wrestling angle. Like, it's so annoying at this point. It's so annoying, but I get it. It's just one of those things. But again, Cena ended up retaining the championship. And we're on to the next. We did get a quick promo, I guess, if you want to call it that, a quick speech from Cena. He pretty much said that he wanted competition. And I think that, I don't know if I was the only one, but I was like, oh, okay, he wants competition. So I expected his next challenger to come out, but they did not. We did, of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention that the thing that cost Randy Orton the match was R-Truth. We mentioned in the prediction show, R-Truth came out and tried to stop Randy from punt kicking Cena, which he did, essentially, and saved the day for Cena. Turns out, though, at the press conference, Cena ended up putting R-Truth through a table. I think it was with the attitude adjustment. So TBD on what that ends up being and meaning for R-Truth going forward, because I don't know. I don't know if R-Truth is just going to be able to forgive or forget Cena on that one. There are rumors that it's going to be Cena versus R-Truth for the championship at Saturday night's main event. There is also a rumor that it could be Cena and Cody at Saturday night's main event as well for May's event. I think it's on the 24th itself. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, well, it'd be very interesting to see. I kind of hope they try to have R-Truth forgive and forget and try to do a complete 180 and come out as Ron Killings and try to be serious and all this and align with Cena and then go from there and then turn on him later. I don't know, but we'll see. We will see. But I gotta wrap it up here soon, guys. But thank you all so much for joining me. I truly appreciate it. I want to go through your comments here before we wrap it up officially. But what up, Maria? What up? What up? I appreciate you popping in. I'm gonna say good morning. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What up, Damien? What up? What up? You said or I guess you meant who was a better heel, John Cena or Roman Reigns? We'll see, man. We'll see. I'm not gonna. I mean, right now Roman Reigns, but I want to see the totality of the Cena heel run. So we'll see. We will see. Morale, what up? He said hi. What up? What up? Welcome in. My day is great, man. How is yours? How is yours? Fernando, you say you're lucky you don't have to worry about getting kicked in the jewels. I am. And I fucking am. You're absolutely right. I don't have to worry about that shit. I feel for you guys. It's such a crutch. Such a crutch. Oh gosh, hella funny. No, he hasn't done anything. Turn a title shot. He being R-Truth. But Cena can do it mockingly, to be like, oh, I ain't worried about him. Like, it'll be an easy way to use up one of my dates and really kind of downplay it. And then R-Truth can go out there and really show him up, man. And again, what up, Robbie Perez? What up? What up? You said maybe too soon for R-Truth versus Cena. They would need an efficient build. And that's what I was saying. Maybe you could start off with R-Truth being like, nah, man, you're right. I shouldn't have interjected myself. You're right. And then Cena being like, okay, cool. And then going from there and thinking that he could take advantage of R-Truth, but really having R-Truth being the one to take advantage of him. So we'll see. We'll see. E, you said, what up, bro? You said Brock returns and challenges Cena before GTA 6. Yo, I'm so fucking over GTA 6, bro. Oh my god. I think I'll receive my retirement and come before GTA 6 at this point. Unreal. Sean, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you again for the super chat. You said, how does McAfee not tap out, but Gunther does? Just stupid and awful for me. I thought the same thing, dude. I thought the same fucking thing. I was like, and he held in there for a while too. Like in comparison, when you see how quickly Gunther tapped out to Jay, as in comparison to McAfee not tapping out to Gunther, or in that, like I was just very surprised by that too, dude. But thank you again, man. Thank you again for that. I appreciate you. Brooklyn Joker, what up, what up? You said, damn, RIP to Sabu. Yeah, dude, we talked about Sabu at the beginning of the show. Very sad, man. But thank you, guys. We will be winding down here. Nick, what up, dude? You said Gunther went from champ to a back and forth match against Pat McAfee. Yeah, but I have hope for Gunther, though. Is he in the ideal spot? No, but I think that this is the beginning of not a redemption, but a getting back to that ferocious side. So we'll see. But thank you guys again. I appreciate you so much for popping in on this last minute live stream. If you're watching live with me, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. If you're watching on replay, let me know in the comments what you think. If you are new, definitely consider liking the show, subscribing, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys. Sean, I appreciate you, man, for your super chats and everyone here popping in and your comments and your contributions. I really do. But yeah, guys, until next time, I just wanted to get on here really quick while I had a little bit of time to chat some wrestling and at least Backlash. And of course, pay respects to Sabu. Rest in peace to him and everyone in his immediate circle, condolences. But until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Definitely value and appreciate every day, But until next time, guys, stay safe out there and enjoy some wrestling. Take care.